It's 10 a.m. and this is Observer Radio News with Alicia Baird, Carrie Prunskis, and Lydia Moore. In the weather, it's a little sunny with clouds outside of our East York studios. Now here are the headlines. A man was rushed to hospital with life-threatening stab wounds. Leafs lost 5-4 against the Penguins on Saturday night. The 5-year legal battle between the Weird sisters and Harry Potter ended today. Now to top our story. A 35-year-old man was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening stab wounds this morning. Police believe the stabbing was in connection to a road dispute that occurred on Highway 401. On the way to the hospital, the man told the police the suspect smashed his car window. Toronto Constable Tony Vella said when the man confronted the suspect, he was stabbed. The suspect fled the scene in a red Honda. Police are currently searching for witnesses and looking through security images to determine if it was a result of road rage. Tony Vella says he is urging the suspect to turn himself in. One man is dead and another remains on life support after a fire broke out at an Etobicoke rooming house on Sunday. One of the tenants, Paul Barham, said he heard the fire alarm. He walked outside and saw smoke coming out the back of the house, followed by flames bursting through the back windows. Firefighters arrived at the scene and spent an hour extinguishing the fire. Officials confirmed the fire started on the ground floor. The damages to the building are an estimated $750,000. 15 residents, now homeless, managed to escape. Local councillor Mark Grimes and fellow neighbors came out to help. The cause of the fire is under investigation by police and the Ontario Fire Marshal, Mike Ross. Something smells rotten in Rouge Hill. For more on this story, The Observer's Megan Harris reports.
The suburbs of Rouge Hill are normally tidy and uncluttered, but according to 67-year-old resident, this is changing. Lorne Mann, who lives on Chapais Court, says he's seen an increase in garbage, especially bagged animal waste, being left on lawns and curbs around his neighborhood.
For the last month or two, when I go for my early morning walk around the blocks, I find these torpedo bags, I call it, which is a doggy poop bag. And the person, they pick it up off the lawn and then they discard it either on that grass boulevard or along the curb. So as you gain momentum over the week or two, all you see is a bunch of these bags.
Mann says this problem is starting to reflect negatively on the community and hopes a solution can be found.
As the community gets older, we can't stop the aging of the community, but you can still keep it up nice. And it's a middle class to higher income area, so there are pretty good educated people that should know better.
Toronto Animal Services is able to step in, but first they must identify who is leaving the dog bags behind. Megan Harris, Observer Radio News, Toronto.
2 female suicide bombers killed at least 37 passengers and wounded over 100 people in Moscow, Russia's subway system during rush hour today. The first explosion took place at Moscow Central Station around 8 a.m. 45 minutes later, a second explosion erupted at the Park Kaltary station. A passenger on the opposite platform at Park Kaltary station said he saw smoke everywhere and people running for the exits screaming. Outside of both stations, people made frantic phone calls while the injured and wounded were transported to the hospitals by helicopter or ambulance. Some say the attacks may be in connection to the Caucasus region. 6 years ago, Caucasus Islamic separatists carried out 2 bombings in Moscow subway stations. And that's the latest news. Now here's Carrie Prunskis with sports.
Thanks, Alicia. Here's what's happening in the world of sports. The Leafs lost 5-4 to the Penguins after a shootout last night in Pittsburgh. The Leafs took the lead 4-3 after rookie Tyler Bozak scored his 8th NHL goal. With just under 4 minutes left in the third, Pens left winger Matt Cook tied it up at 4. The Leafs went into overtime for their 3rd straight game. No goals for the Leafs in the shootout. Sidney Crosby and Pascal Dupuis scored for Pittsburgh. Crosby also scored 2 goals in the second period. He now leads the league's goal-scoring race with 47. Leafs goalie Jean-Sébastien Giguère made 41 saves in last night's game. Coach Ron Wilson says Giguère is likely the reason the Leafs got a point. Only 6 Leaf games left before they pack it in for the season. They face the Atlanta Thrashers here at home tomorrow night. Last night in Miami, the Raptors lost to the Heat 97-94. In the final 6 minutes, Miami came back from their 11-point deficit to win. Miami's Udonis Haslem played a strong game. He scored 23 points. Miami center Jermaine O'Neal didn't play due to his knee injury from Friday night's game against Milwaukee. Although Raptors forward Hedo Turkoglu had his uniform on, he stayed off the court. Raptors coach Jay Triano says he didn't play him because he's not healthy. Andre Bargnani and Jose Calderon each sunk 2 3-pointers. Calderon says his team had some openings towards the end, but the ball just didn't want to go in. The Raptors play in Charlotte tonight against the Bobcats. The Jays sent 3 players packing yesterday as they head into their final week of spring training. The Jays reassigned infielder Brad Emaus and outfielder Chris Lubanski to the minors. They also let outfielder Joey Gathright go, but did not reassign him. The Jays start their 2-game preseason finale in Houston on Friday. Their regular season begins in Texas against the Rangers next Monday. And they'll play their home opener on April 12th against the Chicago White Sox. If you have a kink in your neck or just need some stress relief, head to Centennial College's Morningside campus. On March 27th and April 11th, massage therapy students will be kneading necks and stretching muscles to raise money for charitable organizations. Observer Radio's Kimberly Nacaville reports.
The massage therapy students run a clinic open to staff, students, and the public. In the coming weeks, they're using skills they learn in class to raise money for the Stephen Lewis Foundation and Doctors Without Borders. Third-year massage therapy student Laura Shilliday is participating in both fundraisers.
Massage therapy students, some alumni who are graduates that are coming back to treat, and second and third-year students will be offering the public 1-hour massage therapy treatments for $30, and then the proceeds raised are going to those organizations.
The Stephen Lewis Foundation works with community groups fighting HIV and AIDS in Africa. This year's Helping Hands, Helping Hearts will be the 7th annual event held at the clinic. Hands Up for Haiti is a new event responding to the earthquake in January. Program coordinator Sabine von Bodeker says students are responsible for the marketing of the events, and Shilliday says the posters and radio spots bring in the crowds.
I'll say that we raised about close to $3,000 2 years ago, and that was between we did a bake sale that raised a couple $100, and then we had a donation jar in our clinic, and then we had the actual fundraiser itself. And between those 3 events, when we pooled all the money together, it came up to about $3,000, and it was really successful.
Those interested in a massage can call the clinic to book their appointments. Kimberly Nacaville, Observer Radio News, Toronto.
And the season opener for Toronto FC took place in Columbus on Saturday. Toronto lost 2-0 to the Crew. Coach Preki Radoslavjevic says his team fell asleep on the first goal, but they played hard overall. He also says the ref missed a handball call against Columbus with only 15 minutes left. Toronto has 2 weeks off before they face New England on April 10th. And that's it for sports. Stay tuned. Lydia Moore will give us all the buzz and entertainment after this short break.
Good evening. You are probably expecting me to say that my name is Count Dracula and that I am a vampire. Do you know what makes a vampire? Do you really? It's not the hair, bah, greasy kid stuff. It's not the cape made from your sister's satin bedsheets. No, it's the fangs that make you a vampire. Now you too can have the fangs. Dress up for parties, frighten the trick-or-treaters on Halloween. These plastic marvels fit over your regular teeth, but once there, you'll be the hit of the party. Amaze and delight your girlfriend. It is so much fun, I know. So, send for your free fangs today. Send $2.98 to Fang Box 1001, Central City, Tennessee, or dial toll-free 800-DRACULA. Order before midnight tonight. That's an order.
Today in entertainment close to home, a 5-year legal battle that almost stopped the release of a Harry Potter film ended today. The Weird Sisters, a folk group from Winnipeg, launched the $40 million lawsuit 5 years ago against Warner Brothers because the 5th movie in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, a reference was made to a wizarding rock band also named the Weird Sisters. The lawsuit threatened to stop the release of the movie. Warner Brothers removed all references and even agreed to pay $5,000 for the use of the group's name. The lawsuit was settled out of court, but both parties have not released information on the actual settlement amount. The imagination can be a powerful thing, just ask Diane Dupuy. She used it to triumph over an adversary and dream her way to success. She's now the founder of the internationally renowned production company in Toronto called the Famous People Players. And as Observer Radio's Jennifer Romano found out, it all started with a horse named Silver.
Diane Dupuy owes her success to her imaginary horse named Silver. Together, they triumphed over adversity and she says she owes their friendship to her favorite radio show, The Lone Ranger.
My mother would turn the radio on and we would listen to the broadcast of The Lone Ranger. And there's something wonderful about radio because you use your imagination more.
From now until April, she's telling the story of Silver in a production called Hi-Ho Silver, an ode to her imagination and how she kept on her high horse and never gave up on her dreams. She performs it along with her famous people players, a group of developmentally challenged individuals who work on stage and behind the scenes. She says they deserve the opportunity to triumph over their own limitations, just like she did.
It's not because of who you are that makes people laugh or get emotional all in a few moments. It's because you're truly talented, and you have the same right to be up on this stage as anybody else.
Her longtime business partner, Douglas Gardner, says he's watched the players develop a multitude of skills over the years, and it's all thanks to her leadership.
And to see them develop, the ones who were just starting with the company and, they're helping in the dining room and then they're turning up on the stage. And so I think it's marvelous for them and fabulous leadership. Oh.
The players are masked in black during the performances and are revealed at the end. Dupuis says it forces the audience to see the talent before the disabilities, and that's her dream come true. Observer Radio News, Toronto.
The 23rd Annual Kids' Choice Awards took place on Saturday night, honoring big names in entertainment. Twilight star Taylor Lautner received the award for Favorite Movie Actor for his role in New Moon as Jacob Black. Other awards in the music category were given to Taylor Swift and the Black Eyed Peas. However, the highlight of the show included singer Katy Perry being covered in green slime as she presented the Favorite Movie Actress Award to Miley Cyrus. Speaking of Miley Cyrus has decided to leave her Hannah Montana role on the Disney Channel to pursue her singing career and her big screen career. Cyrus said in an interview that she has grown out of her role as Hannah Montana. On May 24th, it will be the end of 8 seasons of the police drama 24. Kiefer Sutherland, the English-born Canadian actor and star of the series, released a statement on Friday about the show's cancellation. Sutherland, who plays Jack Bauer and is the executive producer, will be able to take a break and return to his movie career and his work with Canadian Film Centre's Actors Conservatory. At the end of the season 24, it will become the longest-running espionage series on TV. And that's all for entertainment. Back to you, Alicia.
Thanks, Lydia. That's the news for now. You can hear more news coming up in 15 minutes on the internet at ondemand.centennialcollege.ca. On behalf of all of us here at Observer Radio News, thanks for listening and have a great afternoon.